Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to teach you a short practice that's going to do a lot of work on side bending or lateral bending, stretching the sides of the body. Start in a comfortable seated position. Lean forward slightly. Use your hands to broaden your sitting bones to help you achieve a more neutral pelvis and thereby neutral spine. If you're tighter, you can sit up on a blanket or two. As you inhale, reach your arms up, lengthen. And then as you exhale, crescent to your right, lean over, stretch your left side waist. You can slide your right hand out. And then ever so slightly, turn your torso towards the ground to get a little more stretch to the back side of your body. And then come back to neutral. Corset your waist. Inhale, come up and reach. And as you exhale, take your left arm down, crescent to your left, stretching your right side waist. And get into the obliques and even the intercostals, the muscles between your rib cage. And turn down just slightly, a little bit of spinal flexion, not much. And then come back up and reach. Good. And then from here, come onto your hands and your knees. Stretch back, downward facing dog pose. Pivot your heels to your left and try to stretch your right hip back in space a little more. And then come back through neutral. Pivot your heels to your right, stretch your left side back more. And then come back through center. Press back, stretch back. We'll likely throw in a few twists as well. Take your right leg up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hips, stretch. And then step or help your foot forward into a lunge. Keep your back leg lifted strongly as you sit deep into your front knee. And then squeeze your feet towards each other and firm both outer hips. Twist, take your right arm to the ceiling. As you inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, turn more. One more, inhale. Exhale. Release your hand down. Drop your back knee. Lift up crescent lunge. A lot of side bend here. With your right hand, grab your left wrist. Inhale. Exhale, crescent to your right. And then come back up through center. Release your hands. Step back, plank position. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. You can always drop your knees first. Point your toes and take your arms alongside of your body. If your shoulders are tighter, I recommend arms slightly wider. If your shoulders are more open, you can interlace your fingers. Move your shoulders forward and up. And then squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other and down your back. Lift up. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Option to float your legs. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Release down. Set your palms under your elbows. For our first one, curl up into a cobra pose. And as you exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. Take your left leg up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Stretch. And come forward into a lunge pose. Twist. Take your left arm to the ceiling. Now remember, keep your right leg lifted strongly. Bend your front knee. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Firm your outer hips as you open through the twist. And then release your hand down. Drop your right knee. Rise up, crescent. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and crescent to your left. Stretch your right side waist. And then back through center. And we'll repeat. Step back, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Take a few breaths. And then cobra pose. and downward facing dog. Inhale, press back. Exhale, look forward and bring your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, look forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. And exhale, release. I'll turn to face you for this one. I'll also act as a mirror image for you. Join your feet together, squeeze your legs together, and firm your inner thighs. Even imagine that you could lift your inner kneecaps up. Firm your outer hips and corset your waist. As you inhale, reach your arms overhead. With your right hand, grab your left wrist, inhale. And as you exhale, crescent to your right. Keep squeezing your legs towards each other. Crescent over more. And like we did in the seated position, start to turn your torso to the ground just slightly to bring the stretch along the back side of your body. Keep squeezing your legs in, extend your tailbone down, corset your waist, and come back to neutral, and all the way back up. Through your left hand, grab your right wrist, inhale. Keep squeezing your legs, firm your outer hips, tail down, corset your waist, and then crescent to your left, stretch your right side waist. Make your legs strong and steady. Roll your torso towards the ground just slightly. Should feel like a really nice stretch across your upper back. Good. And then come back up. Reach and release. All right. From the top of your mat, inhale, extend your arms overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. See if you can actively lengthen both sides. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, look forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back into top of a plank pose. We'll do more of a classic vinyasa. Of course, you can modify as needed. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And to bring the twisting in, take your right leg up and back. Inhale. And as you exhale, twist, squeeze your right knee to your left arm. Turn from your right obliques to your left. Inhale, reach back, stretch back, and as you exhale, step forward, set up warrior two pose. Stay strongly anchored in your back leg as you bend deep in your front knee. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, reverse warrior, side bend, stretch your right side waist. Inhale, come back up through two. Exhale, extended side angle. I'm going to take a variation with the forearm to the thigh here so I can really keep the knee, or the hip rather, nice and engaged. Press your thigh and arm into one another. Engage your outer right hip more. Sit deeper. Anchor through your left foot as you reach through your top arm. Draw your navel in. Turn slightly from your right waist to your left. Breathe 3, 2, and 1. Come back up and straighten your front leg. Reach forward and down, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Now, if you're tighter, either take your right hand on a block or you can walk your right hand up your right shin. Now, let's stay in side body land. Turn your left palm to face the wall in front of you and reach up and overhead in line with your ear. Reach your left side long like you did in extended side angle. Draw your navel in. Turn from your right waist to your left. Breathe 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, stand back up. Exhale, bend, warrior 2. Circle your hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, top of a push-up, inhale. Exhale, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, if at any time you need a break, a rest, feel free to drop to your knees and rest in child's pose. And for the next side, I'll turn around. You can stay facing the same way on your mat. From downward facing dog, take your left leg up and back. Inhale. As you exhale, twist your left knee to your right arm. Turn more from the strength of your obliques, your side waist. Reach up and back, inhale. And as you exhale, step forward, set up warrior two pose. And anchor through your back leg as you bend deep in your front knee. Inhale. Exhale, reverse warrior. Stretch your left side waist. And inhale, back up, warrior two. And exhale, extended side angle variation. Reach long on your right side. Press your left arm and knee into one another. Firm your outer hip more. And then draw your navel in. Turn from your left waist to your right. 3. Keep reaching long on your right side. 2. And 1. And come back up. Straighten your front leg. Forward and down, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Now, if your neck is even just a little tight, feel free to gaze down the whole time. Spin your right palm to the front of the room. Reach up and overhead in line with your ear. Get long on your right side. Draw your navel in and turn from your left waist to your right. Breathe. Inhale, come back up. And bend, warrior two. And take your hands down, step back. Plank pose, inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, upward facing. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. A few breaths. And drop down to your hands and your knees. Angle your right toes back to the wall behind you so that your right shin is your left shin is at about a 90-degree angle. And then start to bear weight on your left hand as you stretch your right leg out. And then extend your right arm up and overhead in line with your ear. Side body stretch on the right side. And then come back to center. And switch. This time, right leg angles back. Left leg steps. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Stretch long on your left side. And then return to hands and knees. And return downward facing dog. Now we did this at the beginning, but it's a fairly less common stretch. So we'll try it again here once we've warmed up. Pivot your heels to the left. Root down, stretch your right hip back so you can get more into your right side waist. And then back to center. Pivot your heels to your right so you can get more length in your left side waist. And then back to center. Take your right leg up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hip, stretch. And bring your right knee forward for pigeon pose. Turn your torso forward and fold. Pigeon can also be practiced on your back if your knees are a little more tender. You can cross your right ankle to your left knee. For those of you in the more classic version, tuck your left toes under, lift your left leg off the ground. Squeeze your feet towards each other and firm both outer hips. Stretch your sternum forward and take a few breaths in a slightly more active and dynamic pigeon. Walk your hands up. Press back, downward facing dog. Take your left leg up and back. Bend your knee, open your hips, stretch. And then come forward. See if you can align your left knee behind your left wrist. I'm less worried about where your left foot is. In fact, if you're tighter, it'll be back closer to your right hip. Turn your torso forward and fold. Like the first side, tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee up. Squeeze your feet towards each other, firm and engage your outer hips. Lengthen your spine forward. A few breaths. And then walk your hands up. Press back into one final downward facing dog. Stretch and extend. And then drop down to your knees. Swing your legs to the side and come into a seated position with your legs stretched out. Like our beginning posture, you're going to use your hands to broaden your sitting bones. And if you want to lift your sitting bones up on a blanket, you can certainly do that. Keep your right leg facing forward. Bend your left knee. Drop your knee to the side and place your left foot kind of to the inside of your right leg. Now, from here, we're going to twist first to the bent knee. Turn without your hands. Go to your natural range of motion, and then add a little leverage. Use your hands. Remember to lift your spine as you inhale, and then twist on the exhale. And look forward to the inside of your right leg. Take your right hand forward to the inside of your right leg, but notice I'm still turning my torso to the left. Take your left arm up and overhead and do a side bend to your right. Reach your left fingers towards your right toes. Draw your navel in and turn just slightly from your right waist to your left. Corset your waist. Inhale, come up. And we'll switch sides. Take your left leg forward. Bend your right knee. And widen the angle between your thighs as much as you can comfortably. And if you do happen to have knee issues or discomfort, this pose can certainly be practiced with the leg straight. And it's really not going to change the stretch much at all. Twist without your hands. And then add a little leverage, but do keep your core engaged. And keep turning to your right. Just gaze to the inside of your left foot. Take your left hand to the inside. Right arm up and overhead in line with your ear. And then side bend to your left. You can slide your left leg or your left arm out. Now, if you're a little tighter, you could certainly take support under your left arm. And for those of you that are more flexible, you can grab the foot with one or with both arms. So here's what it looks like to grab the feet with both arms. Twist. Turn from your left waist to your right. And then corset your waist. Help yourself up. And take both legs forward. Sit for a moment in Dandasana staff pose. And hopefully you feel some length and space along the sides of your waist. We'll finish with a twist. Come to lie down. Cross your right knee on top of your left knee. Take your arms out to the sides. Tuck your left hip under and twist your legs to your left. If you want to continue on the side body stretch journey, take your left hand to your right knee and then extend your right arm overhead. As you reach your right arm overhead, try to press your right hip forward or away from you. And then unwind, return to center, and switch. Cross your left knee on top of your right, tuck your right hip under, and twist your legs to your right. Option, take your right hand to your left knee and take your left arm overhead. As you reach your left arm back, reach your left hip away from your fingers. And then return to center. Center your hips. And finish symmetrically by squeezing both of your knees into your chest. And if you like, you can give a tiny rock back and forth. And then release and set up for Shavasana. Make yourself comfortable and give yourself permission to rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Bend your knees and roll to your right side. Use your hands and your arms to help yourself up. Come into a comfortable seated position. And join your palms together at heart center. I thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.